Welcome to our tutorial on machine learning and deep learning. In this tutorial, we will guide you through everything from very basics to more advanced machine learning algorithms. But before we jump into the algorithms, though, the first part of this tutorial focuses exclusively on those Python skills which are required for machine learning. You have probably seen many Python courses out there covering different range of topics, but here we concentrate mainly on those Python skills which are relevant for machine learning. So if you're looking to learn machine learning but you don't know Python yet, you are in the right place because we will help you build the Python foundation you need for machine learning. So let's get started. What's Python? Python is a computer language which we use to communicate with our computers. We use Python to instruct our computers to perform some tasks. And the good news is that Python is a free and open source language. So everyone can just download and install it in their computer and just use it for free. The other good news is that Python is a high-level language. This means that Python is more user-friendly and it's almost like English. So most people who start their career in programming, they started by learning Python. Okay, now that we understand what Python is, I think it's important to understand that when we say we communicate with our computers, what does it mean really on a technical level? Because our computers or machines, they understand binary language, which is a series of zeros and ones. But if we want to instruct them by languages, for example with Python, which is almost like English, it's very far from binary language. In this communication, you see we need a translator in between to translate our Python commands or scripts into series of zeros and one, which is understandable for computers. So in this between we need translators, and these translators are called compiler or interpreter. So they translate our commands from our desired language, which in this case is Python, to series of zeros and ones, and that's how basically the communication happens. So yeah, I hope you have some understanding of this now. And now let's move on and talk about the applications of Python. Python has a wide range of applications. I cannot list all of them here, and I just mentioned that it has a wide range of applications in machine learning and artificial intelligence, in data science, and web development, and making games, and many other applications it has. And in this tutorial, we will focus mainly on those Python skills which are required for machine learning. Okay. So if you want to follow these tutorials, we have some prerequisites. We need you to have Python and Visual Studio Code installed in your system. And if you don't know how to install them, there's a tutorial for installing Python and Visual Studio Code in the description of this video. Please follow the instructions and have them installed in your system. Now we are going to create our first Python project on Visual Studio Code or VS Code. And if you are not familiar with VS Code, please follow the tutorial that I have in the description of this video, which explains very nicely the Visual Studio Code, and this is done by the Visual Studio Code official YouTube channel. So please do that. In case you cannot follow that, I will explain briefly those parts of the VS Code that I'm going to use in this video. So the first thing is that we can use VS Code as a text editor. We can open a new file by clicking on this, and we can choose anything, let's say Python file, and here we have our text editor open. This is our text editor where we can write our Python commands, and if you want to use another language, you can also use like the syntax of the other language in this text editor. So here you can see that we have this number, which is a line number, and if you create enter, you will create more lines, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on, and you can create like infinite number of lines in this text editor, and in these lines we can place our commands. You can also leave some of these lines empty, it's not a problem, but we mostly use them to place our commands, and these are called line numbers. So I'm gonna magnify the text editor by using command and plus on Mac and control in plus on Windows, so that you can see closely what I'm doing. And the next thing that I'm going to show you is the integrated terminal that we have on VS Code. By clicking here on the bottom, you can see that we have many panels: problems, output, debug console, and terminal. This is what you're interested in. It's the integrated terminal, which is available on VS Code. In it basically helps us to run our scripts on the same window without switching to any other window, because it's already integrated into the VS Code, so we don't need to switch the windows. It also has another benefit, that it supports multiple terminals. So by clicking on this plus sign, you can see that I create new terminal. Now I have, on the same window, I have two terminals. I can do more, so it supports multiple terminals. Coming back to our first terminal and to our text editor, now I'm going to create the first Python project that we are going to do in this tutorial, and that would be to print hello world in the output of our terminal. So we can benefit from an already built-in function in Python, which is called print function, to do this task. But before we do that, we are gonna save this file. We have to save this file by any name. Let's say hello world. Okay, so the file is being saved, and now we are gonna place our command, our Python command, to print hello world in the output of the terminal. So we benefit from the print function, which is already defined in Python. And you might, if you don't know functions, please stay tuned for our next videos where we are going to explain what the function means. So for now, just place quotation marks here, and then inside these quotation marks, if you write anything, it will, and then you execute the script, whatever you wrote inside these quotations will appear in the output of your terminal. And in this particular case, I'm going to write hello world and save it. And now we can execute this command or this script by clicking on this button, run Python file. So if you click this, you can see many things appear here, and you can also see that we have hello world printed in the output of the terminal. So this is amazing. Now we have done, and now we have successfully created and executed our first Python project on VS Code. So I hope you can also install Python and VS Code in your system, and you can execute and create and execute your first Python project. And you can also write whatever you want in the quotation marks, write whatever you want and execute it. So thank you so much for following this video, and please stay tuned for our future videos on machine learning, and make sure that you subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss out more useful tutorials. Bye bye.